another broadcast from Ultimate Studios Inc. live here in North Hollywood. So today I'll be doing some of these cool flashy blues licks, which involves some technical stuff, some chromaticism, maybe some hybrid picking, economy. So it's just fun, right? It's a lot of fun to just add more ideas, more techniques to the traditional blues, and which sometimes can be pretty much predictive. You're like, oh yeah, it's that lick, it's that lick, it's that lick. And when you play it a lot and everybody's doing the same thing, it's like there's no real difference between one player and the other. So I'll give you some ideas to really spice it up and make it more fun. So last week I did an introduction to some of these cool licks, some technical stuff, and a lot of it is just based on arpeggios and the use of pentatonics. So just to recap a little bit, when you play the blues, you basically play in 3 keys if you do the major blues, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Just the major blues, meaning they're all dominant chords. So when you got dominant chords, like an A7, and then a D7, and then an E7, each one is its own key, right? Because there's only one dominant chord per major scale. You cannot have a major scale with 2 dominant chords. So when somebody says, hey, play a blues in A, and it's the dominant A, like, it's not minor, it's just the dominant one, which has a major third in it. So when you do that, then you have to keep in mind that it's a major tonality. So it's a mode, mixolydian. And every time you change the chord, you got to change the tonality as well. You got to go from A mixolydian to D mixolydian and then to E mixolydian. Now, last week I showed some of the cool arpeggios you can do. Right, and then sequencing that. Now you can like rearrange all those licks. It's not oh, this is the only way you can do it. You can, for example, take that same lick and then do just a descending version, but loop that. For example, you can go. What am I doing there? I'm just going. Now the cool thing when you do these repetitive ideas and then the chord change happens is you just do one note adjustments and then you actually following the key. So let me show you in another position where it's a little more evident that there's a key change. So I'll do the same lick, I'll do it up over here. So again, this is a C sharp, an A, a G, and an E, which is A7 arpeggio. So I'll just sequence that kind of fast, right? I mean, you don't have to play that fast, but it's just to give you an idea how flashy it can be. Now that's A7. Now when it goes in the quick change, when it goes to D7, I'll just move the C sharp to a C natural, and then the G to an F sharp, and I'll keep the A and the E the same. And I'm basically moving from this tritone, which is part of A, then I'll move it to this tritone, which is part of D7. And it's actually very easy because you just do this little move here. It's easy to see and easy to remember. So let me show you what that entails. So here we go. Now let's hear it with a track. Now I'll do the repetitive line. It's a very flashy lick, very cool, and only takes 2 strings. You can extend it if you want, just add more lines. It's just, that's the freedom you have for that. Now, you can also take, with the same concept of this frame of reference, right? I can, for example, take a more scalar approach and do this. It's also very triplet based. Right? You can maybe do it in 16 notes, but then it would go over the bar line. But just to understand it, you do it in triplets. So that would be for A, and then what do you do for D? For D, you just, again, you do the same switch, but you just add the notes that you have in between. Alright, so let me play that again with the track, see what it sounds like. You can really shred like crazy. But when you do it with the key change in mind, it's actually cool and looks like you know what you're doing. Okay, so that's one example. Another way, which is a little trickier, is when you do these odd groupings, like for example 5s. So 5s, if I do it up here, and this is an economy technique, if you want to call it that, where you go down, down, up, down, up. And that's basically 5 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Again, it really amplifies that tritone sound, but it's not an even number of notes. It's uneven. It's 5s. Okay, and when you do that in a rhythmic context, you can actually play the 5s in an actual downbeat, let's say reference, where you're actually playing 5s on every downbeat, or you can do the trickier way, which is you play 5 notes but in a subdivision of either 3, 4, or 6. So if I do it here, say triplet, triplet, triplet. So if I do it, now I'll try to do those 5s against that subdivision. So I'll play it again. So it's a nice way to rearrange the rhythms a little bit and your groupings. If I do it in a faster modality, let's see what it sounds like. it's a tricky lick, right? It's like you gotta really. There's other positions where you can use it. Personally, I prefer the positions where you bar with your third finger, because this is actually hard to play. So where would I use the barring tonality? Well, I can use it, for example, down here. That works, right? We got the barring. And I can actually use the flat 5. So let's just hear that. That's actually pretty cool sounding. Right? So you basically find the spots that it works. So usually you want to find notes that fit the chord. So if I'm, let's say, in E7, turn around, I can do it over here. And then D7, do it here. Because I'm emphasizing the D and the flat 7. And then on A, I was doing it over here. All right. Another great position is when I use the G and B strings. This is actually closer to the Mixolydian sound. In this case, a dominant chord. So that would be for D, right? And then for A, I would have to go over here. And then for E. Alright. Then I can actually take this concept of doing these fives and apply it to all the pentatonic variations that I can think of. You can do it for the actual minor pentatonic if you want to use it. All right, and sometimes you can actually throw the flat 5 in there. That sounds pretty edgy. And this is a very easy sequence to go descending. It's actually a little harder to go ascending, but descending is very convenient. So if you play it fast enough, it's okay when you don't play every exact note of the tonality of Mixolydian. So I'll borrow some from the minor blues. So there's your minor third. There's your flat 5. Then I'll go over to a more Dorian sound, or because here's your minor third. Blues. And then I'll resolve to that major third. So let's just use that. So I'll use this. And I'll just put it through the paces here, and let's see what it sounds like. Right? Very flashy, very cool. It's just, it's fun to play, and it sounds pretty impressive if you like that type of flashy stuff. Then you can also do shorter sequences with the arpeggios that are, for example, on just 3 strings. So what am I doing there? I'm just going this A7 position and I'm sequencing. And the way I pick this is so I got down, up, and then down, up, down. Now when I go back from here, I have to actually jump over the string to catch the next down. And sometimes I might do a pull-off here. Just to avoid the down pick to jump back. So basically pick, and pull off. Let's see what that sounds like. So what if I move to the other chord? I just move the whole shape up. I mean, for now. Okay. So again, it's a simple shape, but I'll just create a little sequence out of it. I can do a little variation going ascending. And then this, for example, this particular shape allows me to do a shift in the position without having to move the whole shape over to D. So if I'm in A, then I'll just go to this shape, which is basically D7. Here's your root, so third, fifth, flat 7, root. But the point is that I'm using a fingering sequence. Right? It's all about creating a continuous run, but you adjust with the chords. So let's see how that sounds like. All right, so, hey, all right, we got some people, cool. All right, well, hope you guys like these licks. I mean, I use them, so just make your blues a little more fun. And you can speed it up. I mean, you can mess around with it. That's another sequence that I do if I really want to play it fast. Maybe disregarding the actual subdivision, you just go fast. So it's really almost sounds like a keyboard doing that stuff. So let's hear that. again, let me just slow that down a little bit. So it's a combination of sweeping and pull-offs. So here I hammer. Pull that off. And then same for D. I love this lick, right? It's just so flashy, it's so cool. And then we go higher. It's pretty neat. So it's just arpeggios, right? And because they give you the tonality change or really enforce these chords, it's just a little more than just playing. If that's the only thing you know, these will actually open up your lick repertoire. So you can still mix it with your typical blues stuff. That's another classic, right? But it's just, again, it's just similar to what I played before, right? So this is it, folks, right? Just some flashy stuff using dominant sounds, and it's endless, right? It's like, as long as you do the right notes, it works great. And the technique, pull-offs, hammer-ons, a little sweeping, some fast picking, and just practice, play it in time, float a little bit, play it fast to see what it sounds like, and always remember, right? You gotta play the right notes, and you gotta feel right to you, and not only to impress everybody else, but it gotta feel right. If it doesn't feel right, just don't do it. All right. So this is it for today, and I'll see you next time. All right. Let's jam it out.